Hi, I'm Melissa and I'm here with Enstrom. And would you like to introduce yourself?
Sure. My name is Doug Smith. I'm the Vice President of Product Support at the Enstrom Helicopter Corporation. Welcome.
Thank you. Very nice to meet you.
Yep.
So I have actually never sat in one of these helicopters before, so I would love to know all about the avionics.
Well, welcome to your first sitting in a helicopter.
Thank you.
This happens to be the Enstrom 480 signature model. So welcome. This aircraft itself is the Enstrom 480B. The aircraft this model has been certified since 2001. What we've done for the integration or the improvements is we've introduced a glass cockpit panel.
Okay.
So we're running, instead of running analog or dial indicators, we're running glass panel, which is very, very common today. So we're running a Howell engine information system. We've got a 420 display, a 405 dual tachometer. We've got a mid-continent standby altitude display, and then we're using Garmin 500 and 750 series display radio in a 208 pound, 225 pound. So, this is the idea is bringing into up to modern day avionics for the owner operator. The helicopter is primarily used for flight training.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
It's used. We have a number of fleets for primary flight training in the militaries.
Okay.
Japan, Thailand, Czech Republic. We have piston helicopters in Peru, Pakistan fleets. And so this is just the next iteration of updating what the industry is doing. And so it's really quite interesting. As you can see on the panel, all your engine information is displayed digitally. It simulates dial indicators, but it's all digital. Plus, it gives you the numbers. The dual tachometer is the same. It gives you rotor RPM and tachometer, engine tach RPM. But we also have, in case you have, it's a backup dual system.
Okay.
So actually, if you have a failure of that one display, we have what's called reversionary mode, and that converts over. Now it will display rotor over here also. And the same thing over here is if this unit displays, by the way, it has two channels, so you'd have to have a dual failure.
Okay.
But if that case that happens, this independent unit also has reversionary mode, and it will display your engine information along with now your rotor information. So that's what it is.
So very, very good for training as well.
Yeah, very good for training as well. Your display, so this portion, this high side of the display here is driven from the 750 here.
Okay.
So you can have multiple different screens available here. So right now I've got like the navigation map up here, but I've got the traffic data map here, or I could put in HTAWs for terrain avoidance, or I could even bring up weather. And the other thing that's nice about that is even though you've got dedicated screens here, but like for traffic, it will also display on the primary function on the flight display. So it's really, really neat integrated systems that allow you to do numerous things in there.
Yeah, of course. I can't help but notice how similar it is to an airplane
Right.
as well.
Yeah. The avionics and stuff will be very similar to what you would see in an airplane. Obviously, the primary difference is in a helicopter, you have an additional flight control, which would be on your left-hand side, the collective over here, which is actually your power.
I was going to say, what does this control?
Yeah.
Power. Okay.
This controls your engine power to the rotor, and it basically allows you to go up and down. That's your vertical movement in a helicopter.
Right. Okay.
Your cyclic is your forward, backwards, leftward, right.
Okay.
And then your anti-torque pedals, tail rotor pedals is to offset the torque from the rotor system that allows you to put your nose where you want to go. So you can either move your nose left or right.
So that's almost similar exactly the same to an
right.
airplane.
Very similar to an airplane. The only control that's really, really different is the collective control.
Okay. So, very interesting.
Yeah, think of that as your throttle. So.
Okay, and this is a single engine.
This is a single engine helicopter, correct? It's powered by a Rolls-Royce 250 C20W. It's a Series 2 engine, very similar engine to MD500 Bell 206. It's an exhaust down configuration. That's the W configuration, but it's a very similar engine. So very popular engine. Most mechanics, if they've worked Bell or MD, they can work on this engine. So it's a very popular engine.
Very, very interesting. And this is VFR and IFR?
No, this aircraft is VFR only.
Okay.
And we've had numerous discussions about, well, what would it take to make it IFR certified? In Europe, that's going to be pretty difficult because it's single engine helicopter. Yeah.
Right, okay, so that's the limitation.
But what we are certifying is, we are having a Genesis is certifying an autopilot for us.
Okay.
And so we have a 3-axis autopilot that we've certified the first quarter of 2026. Because we do have a lot of inquiries about not necessarily being IFR capable, but being able to do IFR training, to train pilots for IFR. So we're working on trying. There's some language ambiguity in Europe versus what we can do in the United States.
Of course,
We're
same in
trying
the
to-
UK as well.
We're trying to figure that out. What do you actually mean? Because again, it's got all the equipment to do it. You know, it's got everything that's needed to do it. It's just the wording of IFR training versus practicing. So there's a little bit of ambiguity in that. So.
And what are the requirements for IFR helicopters in Europe?
Okay, well, in Europe,
Yes.
well, again, I'm not an expert, but first thing is it has to have 2 engines.
Right, okay.
Yeah, that's the number one requirement for an IFR helicopter in Europe. It has to have 2
And
engines.
it's not the same in America.
It's not the same in
Right.
America. However, in order to be able to be what's called single pilot IFR, you have to have redundancy in all of the systems to be able to do
Okay.
that. If you want to be single pilot. So, for instance, like the autopilot, it's a 3-axis autopilot, but it's only one channel, so it doesn't have a backup channel. Because again, if you're single pilot IFR, they need to have that redundancy. The same thing with power systems. In the aircraft, you have a main generator system and you have a battery, but the battery is actually the backup. But you need another power source for an IFR. So
Right, okay.
So again, it's not that you can't do IFR training, but you're just not the aircraft itself is not IFR certified to be able to fly.
Okay, so you could do IFR simulated training.
Correct.
Right.
Correct. You can do simulated training.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much.
You're quite welcome.
And hopefully I will get to fly one
Yeah.
day, and I might even go for my helicopter license at some point.
It is a lot of it is different than flying an airplane, that is for sure. But it is a lot of fun to do it.
I can imagine. Well, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
You're welcome.